Since the dawn of ages, a silent force has woven itself into the fabric of human enlightenment. A plant, more than root and leaf, but a key to the soul's awakening. Cannabis, the sacred gift whispered to the chosen ones, carries within it the echoes of ancient wisdom. It does not merely open the mind, it unveils the unseen, revealing the boundless depths of being. There are whispers carried by the winds of time, murmurs of a sacred herb woven into the fabric of the divine. I have seen it burned as an offering, its smoke curling like silvered tendrils toward the heavens, a bridge between mortal hands and celestial realms. This is cannabis, not mere plant, but a vessel, a whispering key to mysteries long concealed. In the sacred Atharva Veda of ancient India, the sages spoke of 5 plants that bore the breath of divinity, and among them, cannabis was named Vijaya, the conqueror, the victorious one. It was not given for idle indulgence, but to shatter the illusion of suffering, to unchain the spirit from the weight of the world. In the cool shadows of temple halls, devotees crushed its leaves into bhang, an elixir that softened the mind's rigid edges, preparing the soul for communion with the infinite. In the silence of the Himalayan peaks, where Shiva's breath lingers in the crisp mountain air, I have seen ascetics imbibe the sacred essence of this plant. Their eyes flickering like embers of an ancient fire, they do not drink for pleasure but to dissolve the self, to step beyond the veil of the ego and become one with the vast, formless expanse of the divine. It is not intoxication, it is a return to the source. Far beyond the temples of India, in the frozen lands of Central Asia and Siberia, I have walked among shamans who speak the language of the unseen. Beneath the ghostly shimmer of the northern lights, they burn cannabis as an offering to the spirits, watching as the smoke drifts upward in slow spirals, weaving the 3 worlds together, the underworld, the realm of the living, and the celestial beyond. A bridge of scent and shadow, a stairway of fire and air. To the unawakened it is merely a plant, but to those who have walked the path of the ancients, it is a whisper from the divine, a secret inscribed in leaves and flame, calling the soul to rise beyond the limits of flesh and time. For centuries, the sacred essence of cannabis has been interwoven with the spiritual practices of ancient civilizations. From the incense-laden rituals of the Vedic seers to the shamanic rites of forgotten worlds, this enigmatic plant was revered as more than mere substance. It was a celestial key, unlocking the hidden corridors between the tangible and the transcendent. In the secret teachings of Taoist alchemists, whispers spoke of its power to attune the mortal vessel to the rhythms of the unseen, dissolving the illusions of separation. To the unawakened, the physical realm appears rigid and finite, bound by the weight of sensory perception and the constructs of the ego. Yet beyond this veil lies an expanse beyond measure, a luminous ocean of consciousness where energy flows unceasingly and the imprints of the divine are etched into the fabric of existence. Cannabis, when used with sacred intent, serves as a bridge between these dimensions. Like a tuning fork aligning with the great symphony of the cosmos, it resonates with the subtle harmonics of the unseen, allowing the seeker to step into frequencies that would otherwise remain imperceptible. The wisdom keepers of old understood that true vision is not granted to the unfocused mind. When used without reverence, cannabis can cloud rather than illuminate, leading the wanderer deeper into illusion rather than revelation. Yet, in the hands of the disciplined seeker, one who walks the path with awareness and sacred intention, it becomes a vessel of transformation. In the silent depths of its embrace, the soul whispers to the infinite, and the veils of ordinary perception are drawn aside. For those prepared, the journey beyond the threshold is not one of escape, but of profound remembrance, an awakening to the luminous architecture of existence itself. If these mysteries speak to your soul, if the unseen realms call to you, subscribe and walk this path with us. There are many doors yet to open, many truths yet to unveil. Step forward and let the journey continue. Soma and the gateway to the divine, cannabis in sacred rituals, the lost elixir of the gods. In the sacred hymns of the Rig Veda, whispers of a divine nectar emerge, Soma, the celestial elixir that granted wisdom, vitality, and transcendence. To the sages of ancient India, Soma was more than a drink. It was a living bridge to the higher realms, a sacred medium through which mortals could glimpse the eternal. Though its exact composition remains veiled in mystery, some scholars speculate that cannabis may have played a role in its alchemical formula. Time has eroded the original rituals, yet echoes of Soma persist in the preparation of bhang, a ceremonial drink crafted from cannabis leaves and milk. During the vibrant festivals of Holi and Shivaratri, devotees imbibe bhang to enter a state of divine resonance with Lord Shiva, the great ascetic, whose meditations transcend all material concerns. Shiva, adorned with serpents and draped in celestial ashes, is said to have consumed cannabis to aid his introspective journeys, dissolving the illusion of self and merging with the rhythms of the cosmos. For the true seeker, bhang is not merely an intoxicant, it is an offering to the infinite, a tool for breaking free from the shackles of the ego and stepping into the great unknown. Yet India is not the sole guardian of this sacred herb. Across time and geography, cannabis has surfaced in the rites of mystics, shamans, and seekers, each using it as a vessel for spiritual ascent, a sacred smoke rising to the heavens. In the frigid wilderness of Siberia, the Chukchi shamans burned cannabis during funerary rites, believing the rising smoke guided the souls of the departed to the spirit world. These nomadic seers, draped in animal skins and etched with sacred symbols, inhaled the smoke to enter trances where the veils between the worlds grew thin. Within this altered state, they could commune with the ancestors, retrieve lost fragments of the soul, and navigate the labyrinth of the unseen. Across the distant jungles of South America, the ayahuasca shamans of the Amazon often combined cannabis with their powerful plant medicines, using it as a bridge to visions that transcended the ordinary senses. In the twilight of the ceremony, the shaman would inhale the sacred smoke, allowing its essence to weave through their consciousness, illuminating hidden truths and unlocking doors to forgotten wisdom. Cannabis has long been an ally of those who traverse the mystical currents of existence, a companion to those who seek not mere intoxication, but illumination. Cannabis, the green messenger of divine wisdom. In the spiritual tradition of Rastafarianism, cannabis is revered not as a drug, but as a holy herb, a sacred conduit to Yah, God. It is said that in the Bible the phrase, "He causeth the grass to grow for the cattle and herb for the service of man." Psalm 104, verse 14, is a direct reference to cannabis, affirming its divine purpose. To the Rastafarian, each inhalation of its sacred smoke is an act of devotion, a moment of communion where the boundaries between self and divinity dissolve. Here, cannabis is not an escape from reality, but a means to deepen one's connection to the universal consciousness. Even in ancient Judeo-Christian texts, whispers of a plant known as Kaneh-Bosm appear in the anointing oils of the Old Testament. Some scholars argue that this was cannabis used to anoint prophets and priests, granting them heightened perception and deeper spiritual awareness. If true, this revelation suggests that cannabis may have been a divine catalyst woven into the very fabric of sacred tradition. The poets and mystics of old often described plants as messengers of the divine, symbols of an unseen intelligence that speaks through the natural world. Cannabis, with its unique psychoactive properties, is one such messenger, a guide for those who seek to understand the hidden dimensions of existence. The mind as a sacred temple, cannabis and higher states of consciousness science has begun to unveil what the ancients already knew. Cannabis is more than a plant. It is a key that unlocks the doorway to altered perception. The cannabinoids THC and CBD interact with the brain's endocannabinoid system, which plays a pivotal role in regulating mood, memory, and perception of time. In sacred contexts, cannabis is not merely an intoxicant, but a portal, shifting one's vibration and attuning the mind to the subtle energies that pulse through the universe. Mystics describe this as tuning into a higher frequency, much like a radio receiver adjusting to an unseen broadcast. When cannabis is used with intention and reverence, it allows the seeker to experience time dissolution. The past and future collapse into a singular moment, akin to the samadhi state described in Eastern traditions. Heightened sensory awareness. Colors become radiant, sounds resonate at a deeper frequency, and the ordinary world transforms into a temple of divine experience. Ego dissolution. The rigid walls of the self begin to soften, making space for unity, humility, and cosmic insight. Many who embark on this journey describe emerging with the all, a realization that the individual self is but a ripple in the vast ocean of consciousness. It is within this sacred space that true transcendence begins. The dangers of the path. True wisdom lies in discernment. But not all who step through this portal find enlightenment. Not all visions are spiritual truths. Just as a mirror may reflect a distorted image, so too can the mind misinterpret the revelations granted by sacred plants. The wise traveler understands that true spiritual growth does not lie in momentary visions, but in integration, the ability to bring the insights of these altered states into the discipline of daily life. The path of the seeker demands discernment. One must differentiate between fleeting illusions and authentic mystical experience. Just as the alchemist refines lead into gold, so too must the spiritual aspirant refine their perceptions, separating true wisdom from the mirage of the subconscious mind. Cannabis as a lamp on the path. Cannabis is neither salvation nor damnation. It is a tool, a lantern on the road to inner discovery. Those who seek it for mere pleasure may find only fleeting sensations, but those who approach it with reverence and wisdom may glimpse something far greater. For the true seeker, the question is not whether cannabis can open doors, it is whether one has the courage to walk through them consciously. The great sages of history remind us that spiritual awakening is not given, it is earned. The plant may offer a spark, but the fire must be kindled by discipline, meditation, and a heart willing to embrace the unknown. Beyond the smoke and ritual, beyond the momentary transcendence, lies the eternal truth, the realization that the universe has never been separate from us. The seeker, the journey, and the divine have always been one and the same. The veil between worlds, cannabis and the subtle body. For millennia, the sacred and the profane have danced in the flickering light of ritual fires. Among the seekers of truth, whispers of an ancient herb persist, an herb known not merely for its earthly properties, but for its ability to weave the veil between worlds, unlocking hidden corridors of the mind. Cannabis, long revered in esoteric traditions, does not merely alter perception, it shifts the energetic currents of the subtle body, stirring dormant forces and awakening slumbering faculties. It is said that this plant reaches first for the highest realms, the seat of intuition, where the third eye, Ajna, and crown chakra, Sahasrara, reside. Through its touch, the practitioner may glimpse the infinite, feeling the pulse of the cosmos reverberate through their being. In the quiet hush of solitude, under cannabis's gentle guidance, thoughts become liquid, visions grow vivid, and the seeker finds themselves standing at the precipice of a great unfolding mystery. Yet there is danger in ascent without grounding. What is gained in transcendence may be lost in foundation. The body, the vessel, the temple, if neglected, becomes weak, and the soul, untethered, risks drifting into an abyss of imbalance. For what value is wisdom if it cannot be carried back to waking life? What good is enlightenment if it severs the practitioner from the physical world? The lower chakras, the very roots of stability and vitality, may wither under repeated indulgence. And here lies the great paradox. Cannabis, in its power, offers both liberation and entrapment. The serpent's awakening, a path of power and peril. Deep within the spine, curled in stillness, lies the ancient Kundalini, coiled like a sleeping serpent at the base of existence itself. It is the sacred energy of transformation, spoken of in hushed tones by sages and mystics, feared and revered in equal measure. When roused from its slumber, this energy surges through the chakras like lightning through a storm-clouded sky, bringing with it visions, ecstasy, and a profound awakening of the self. Cannabis, used with reverence, may serve as a catalyst for this awakening, loosening energetic knots and unblocking pathways long constricted. It can grant access to hidden dimensions, allowing the practitioner to experience the vastness of being in a way the ordinary mind cannot fathom. But such power is not to be taken lightly. For those unprepared, the serpent's rise may become a torment, a force unleashed too soon, too fast, sending tremors of anxiety through the body, fracturing the mind with overwhelming sensations. What was sought as enlightenment may become disarray. What was pursued as wisdom may spiral into chaos. The ancient teachings warn, power without discipline is peril, illumination without grounding is illusion. Those who walk this path must tread with care, for once the floodgates are opened, there is no turning back. Before we go further, pause, reflect, prepare. If these words resonate, if this knowledge stirs something within, take a moment. Breathe, align your intention. Let this be a sacred exchange, not merely of words, but of energy. If you seek deeper truths, support this journey. Subscribe, share, and extend this wisdom to those who walk the path with you. Knowledge, when shared, becomes an instrument of transformation. Illusions of the mind, the mirage of false revelations. There is a peculiar trick played upon the untrained mind, a deception woven not by the plant itself, but by the human desire for shortcuts. Cannabis has the power to dissolve the barriers between thought and experience, to pull back the veil on mysteries unseen. Yet, not all that is revealed is truth. Time and again, seekers have been lured into the mirage, a world of dazzling visions where every flicker of insight feels profound, every whisper of thought seems divine. But not all lights lead to wisdom. Some are mere reflections, distorted and shifting, mirroring back the desires of the ego rather than the truths of the soul. The uninitiated may mistake these flickering impressions for enlightenment, failing to discern the difference between revelation and delusion. The danger here is subtle, insidious. The mind, intoxicated by these fleeting glimpses of grandeur, begins to crave them, mistaking the altered state for spiritual progress. The user seeks to return again and again, believing that more consumption leads to greater awakening, but spiritual growth is not measured in highs, it is measured in integration. A truth seen in vision is meaningless unless it can be lived in waking reality. A moment of transcendence is empty unless it anchors itself in daily life. The true seeker must ask, am I using this as a tool for understanding, or am I being used by it? The sacred and the profane, the forgotten wisdom of the ancients. Long before the modern world, before cannabis became a substance of recreation, it was a sacrament. Ancient cultures understood its dual nature, both a key to spiritual insight and a force demanding great responsibility. In the temples of India, the sacred bhang was consumed in devotion, guiding practitioners into meditative states. In shamanic traditions, cannabis was woven into ritual, its effects channeled under the guidance of those who understood its true purpose. It was never taken lightly, never used carelessly. Contrast this with today's world. The sacred has been lost amidst the haze of casual indulgence. Where once cannabis was a bridge to higher consciousness, now it is too often a means of escape. The practitioner must reclaim this ancient knowledge, restoring intention and reverence to its use. Without purpose, the plant is but a fleeting pleasure. With purpose, it becomes an instrument of awakening. The final truth, beyond the plant, beyond the illusion. And so we arrive at the final understanding. Cannabis does not hold the answers. It may open doors, may part the veil, may even grant glimpses of the infinite. But it is the seeker who must walk the path. No plant, no substance, no external force can grant enlightenment. That which is glimpsed must be earned. That which is seen must be embodied. Ask yourself, when the visions fade, when the high recedes, what remains? If the wisdom is not carried forth, if the insights do not take root in daily life, then what was the purpose? The path to truth is not in escaping reality, but in transforming it. A plant may point the way. A seeker must be the way. Choose wisely. Will you wield cannabis as a tool of awareness, a bridge to self-discovery? Or will you allow yourself to be seduced by illusion, mistaking visions for wisdom? The path is yours. The choice is yours. Walk it with awareness. The veil between worlds, cannabis and the spiritual journey. There are moments when the veil between the seen and the unseen grows thin, when the flow of the universe whispers in our ears and we feel an unshakable connection to truths beyond ordinary perception. These are the moments when the restless mind stills, and in the silence, the cosmos speaks. But how do we know if what we see in these states is divine wisdom or merely reflections of our subconscious? When perception becomes a double-edged sword. True enlightenment does not come in fleeting bursts of altered awareness, but in the integration and transformation of what has been revealed. Cannabis, when approached with reverence, can serve as a gateway, heightening sensitivity to subtle energies and expanding awareness of interconnectedness. Yet, when used carelessly, it may entangle the seeker in illusions, magnifying fears, fantasies, or unresolved emotions. Cannabis acts as an amplifier. It can illuminate the path forward, but it can also exaggerate the shadows lurking in the recesses of the mind. The untrained mind, grasping for meaning, may mistake fleeting visions for sacred truth, or confuse deep-seated fears for divine warnings. Many ancient mystical traditions warn that the key is not in the experience itself, but in the ability to integrate those insights into daily life. Without this, the seeker drifts, lost in a sea of illusions. How then do we discern truth from illusion? How do we ensure that what we experience is not merely a projection of the mind, but a genuine transmission from the higher realms? Cannabis and the subtle currents of energy. From the perspective of yoga and energy work, cannabis does not simply alter the mind, it interacts with the body's subtle energy channels, nadis and chakras. Many practitioners report heightened intuition, vivid visions, and deep emotional releases, all of which align with the activation of the Ajna chakra, the third eye, the seat of insight and higher perception. Some describe an awakening of Kundalini energy, a primal force coiled at the base of the spine, which when activated rises like a serpent through the body, bringing waves of heat, electric vibrations, or states of spontaneous bliss. However, when misused, this energy can become erratic, leading to imbalance, confusion, or emotional instability. Like fire, cannabis can illuminate or consume, Without intention and grounding, it may scatter the mind rather than expand it, leading to detachment from reality instead of deeper wisdom. The ritual, transforming cannabis into a teacher. Cannabis has long been revered in ancient traditions not as a mere plant, but as a sacred ally, a living entity with its own consciousness. Those who walk the spiritual path do not simply use it, they commune with it. A spiritual journey does not begin with the first inhale. It begins with preparation, with the setting of intention, the creation of sacred space, and the recognition that this is not a casual act, but a ritual of deep significance. 1. Setting intention, the compass of the experience. Before consuming, pause. Ask yourself, what am I seeking? Intention is more than a thought. It is a guiding force that shapes the entire experience. A clear intention turns cannabis into a key that unlocks the doors you need to walk through, rather than a gust of wind that carries you aimlessly into unknown territory. 2. Communing with the plant. Hold it in your hands, feel its texture, breathe in its scent. Recognize it not as an object, but as an energy that you are about to merge with. Many traditions do not see cannabis as something to be used, but as a spirit to be honored. Before consumption, offer gratitude, whisper or say aloud, "Thank you for coming to me. Guide me toward truth." Some chant, some pray, some simply sit in silence, attuning themselves to the energy of the plant. 3. Creating a sacred space. Your environment shapes your energy. Avoid consuming cannabis in chaotic or distracting settings. Instead, find a quiet, undisturbed place, perhaps a candlelit room, a serene spot in nature, or a dedicated meditation space. Surround yourself with symbols of sanctity, a crystal, a bowl of water, a lit candle. These are not mere decorations, they are anchors, grounding your spirit and protecting your mind from wandering into realms of confusion. 4. Listening, not controlling. Cannabis is not a tool to manipulate perception. It is a teacher. As the effects unfold, do not force or chase experiences. Instead, observe. If you feel energy moving within you, allow it to flow. If visions arise, witness them as a traveler exploring new terrain. Do not grasp, do not resist. Simply be present. Integration. The journey does not end when the effects fade. The insights gained in altered states hold little value unless they are integrated into waking life. After each session, take time to write down your thoughts, visions, and emotions. Ask yourself, what appeared in my consciousness? What does it reveal about my journey? How can I apply this wisdom in daily life? These reflections are not mere memories. They are the map of your spiritual evolution. Final words. A door has opened. If you have made it this far, a door has already opened before you. But what lies beyond that door is a path only you can walk. A path filled with mystery, transformation, and the unveiling of deeper truths. At Path to the Unknown, we explore the hidden realms of spirituality, consciousness, and the great mysteries that lie beyond the ordinary. If you are ready to embark on this journey, to push past the boundaries of perception and discover what awaits on the other side, then subscribe now. Your path has already begun. The universe has whispered to you. Now, it is your turn to listen. Subscribe to Path to the Unknown and step beyond the veil.